It is peak shipping season ahead of the holidays, with this year looking a little bit different. President's tariffs are still under review. The Supreme Court's ruling could have a big impact on importers. Joining us this morning here at Post 9, Ryan Petersen, founder and CEO of shipping logistics company Flexport. Welcome to the NYSE. It's good to have you in.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Are you thinking a lot about this court decision?
I am, and our customers are having a tough decision to make right now, in fact, because capitalism is a wonderful thing, and there's already a secondary market where you can sell your right to those refunds, trading at about 25 cents on the dollar. So you get to make a bet if you think it's going to get, the court's going to go through or not.
Right. We had the Commerce Secretary in yesterday. They're obviously confident that the ruling is going to go in their favor. Is the industry as confident?
I think what I'm seeing, so 25 cents on the dollar is what you can trade it at. But, of course, there's smart money on the other side of that thinks it's a higher probability. And there's a secondary market on Poly Market, too, that's trading in around 50%. So, hey, I don't know how the Supreme Court works.
Right. It's hard to know who has an edge on that. We have had some recent downgrades of FedEx, UPS. I saw a note today about shipping of cardboard and packaging materials. Q2 wasn't that great. Was that because of fears of a downturn?
I actually think it's really hard to get a read right now. And normally shipping data is a pretty good economic indicator, but there's so much volatility with tariffs and the timing of tariffs, and people are actually just pulling inventory forward ahead of some tariff milestone, but maybe it doesn't even mean they have confidence in their business. They're just trying to get stuff in or out. On the FedEx, UPS, they make a lot of money off air freight, and air freight prices are quite low because of the end of de minimis shipping, and that was a huge percentage of the world's of air freight that's more or less gone away. So,
what are the retailers or the customers doing? Are they rerouting? Are they trying to get around? All we hear is we're mitigating tariffs, and there's various ways of doing that. Are there ways of doing that within the supply chain?
Yeah, so you do see containers from China are down about 10% year over year, and yet overall containers last month were up 1.5%. So that is telling you, hey, they're diversifying. They're moving shipments. They're moving factories to Vietnam, India, and other countries. But then quickly, reciprocal tariffs just came back August 7th, where the tariff rates went up on these other countries. So you're waking up finding out, hey, you just reposition your whole supply chain to India only to find out right now India tariffs are higher than China. So I think you get a little bit caught flat-footed if you did. Another thing that companies are doing, which actually they have to be very careful about this to make sure you do it compliantly and not illegally, is allowing their factory to import their goods for them. And then turning a blind eye if the factory misdeclares and underreports the value of those goods to U.S. Customs, and they lower their duty exposure, and they say, hey, it's not my problem. I just bought it from the Chinese company in America.
Right.
If they cheated,
not my problem. There's an entire compliance business here as well, isn't it? It's got to be booming.
Absolutely. Our compliance business, our customs brokerage and compliance gross profit in that business up 99% year over year. So we're trying to help people stay compliant, because some of these things, you can't just turn a blind eye. Customs is not going to let you off and say, oh, you didn't know. I mean, if your duty rate went way up and your cost didn't go up because you shift the terms of trade, they're going to say, hey, you should have known about this.
There's also been some research that the customs tariff revenue collected is not what the effective rate would suggest, because they're just overpowered by the change in policy. They can't enforce it effectively.
This is part of it, yeah. You can't enforce it. We don't have CBP agents all over the world to go after these foreign importers of record that are, maybe cheating or bending the rules. Markets find a way. They shift products to different countries. You never quite, income tax rates 30-something%. We collect 20% in the federal government. So there's always ways that, the markets find it.
Ryan, we've been talking to a lot of CEOs whose companies went public. Were you ever going to have that conversation with you?
I hope so, yeah. I want to see you here and ring the bell with you guys in a few years. So we got some work to do on our side to keep the growth going.
All right.
Well, stay close. Hopefully we'll talk a lot more as we get into holiday. It's good having you in the building.
Yeah, great to be here.
Thanks, Ryan.